staff, and AEF is here, and of course Challenger. We're so excited that they came and stopped by. They're here for TwitchCon, and so since our office is here in San Diego, we get the opportunity to hang out with Challenger and the whole AEF crew. So welcome, guys.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
So how has San Diego been so far?
Wonderful.
I can move here.
Yeah. And how is Challenger digging the weather here?
He's really liking it. We haven't been outside too much yet, but we're planning on being outside a lot. And the temperature is going to be great for him. And he loves the breeze, and so he'll start flapping his wings like crazy, just enjoying the ocean breeze.
Nice.
It's his favorite temperature.
Yeah.
He had his wings out yesterday. It was airing out his feathers.
That's right. We were outside talking with another company, and yeah, he was just relaxed and just really enjoying himself.
So let's just talk a little bit more about AEF in general and what you guys do with Bald Eagles and foundation.
We are a non-for-profit foundation with pillars of education, conservation, and rehabilitation. So we care for over 63 non-releasable birds of prey. These birds are non-releasable because they received injuries of some variety, illness, and would not be able to survive on their own in the wild. We're joined today by Challenger, a 30-year-old male bald eagle. He is also non-releasable because he was born out of the nest as a chick. Some good Samaritans did rescue him and hand-fed him, unfortunately not realizing that doing so made him a human infant. So he would be unable to hunt on his own in the wild. They did try to release him 2 times, and both times he landed near people again, which became a sort of health concern for both him and those he was landing near, at which point the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Services entrusted us with his care. So he is quite the educational ambassador. He's rubbed shoulders with celebrities. He's known for flying and saving during the national anthem. And he's done so much to help conserve and protect his bald eagle.
So I heard earlier that he's 30 and that he is kind of slowing down his appearances coming into that age.
Yeah, he's the equivalent of a 60-year-old man. So, as we get older, we start slowing down. So do these guys. So he could live to be 40 to 50 in captivity. I'm going to hit that 50 mark, if not exceed it. So, go ahead and retire him, at 30 years. And he's deserved it. 25 years flying in stadiums and educating everybody, or just millions of people about bald eagles and other wildlife. He's done an amazing job. So now he gets some time to relax, retire, take as many baths as he wants, eat an assortment of delicious foods and get his Fiji water, which we spoil him with. And he'll keep going around doing educational appearances like TwitchCon and just doing some other things through social media, with you guys, with Facebook, Instagram, and all that. Just trying to educate people about Challenger and all that he stands for and what he's done and what the American Eagle Foundation is doing for wildlife, just in kind of a different way. We don't have to fly anymore.
And you were saying earlier that he's super calm and very, likes the social aspects of being around people. So, how did you get him to that point?
It takes a lot of work. I'm fairly new to the Challenger team. I've only been working with him for just 1 year. But a large part of his current comfort is due to the fact that he is a human infant. So we like to say that he thinks that he's a person. But beyond that, it takes a lot of trust building, positive reinforcement, building the relationship with the birds. So at the American Eagle Foundation, we are about the birds. The birds choose and are empowered with choice. They do and do not want to work with, or what they do and do not want to do. So it's taken a lot of time, a lot of positive reinforcement to get Challengers done.
Are there little quirks that he likes to do or things that we can show our viewers?
So that feking there, not all birds of prey show that much trust in people or want to do that. So that's shaking his saliva all over us. But he does a feking. That's a show of trust on both ends. One, I trust him not to bite me, and he trusts that I'm there to offer my hand as a service, and I'm not there to stress him out or infringe on his personal space. So he likes to take baths. Like every time we come home from a trip, he's in that bath right away. Mm-hmm. He knows when he's on his way home. He knows kind of the roads because we'll leave his window open in his carrier. and he'll start talking to us when he's ready to go home. And he has his own perch on his own bed in the hotel room.
He does.
So he's spoiled. We'll put a tarp out, and he'll lay out, or he'll stand on his perch there, and we'll give him stuff to play with, some dog toys, or Whole Foods bags to rip up is his most recent fun thing to do. The cardboard.
Yeah, it's safe cardboard. He picked it up on a handle and looked like he was getting ready to go shopping.
That's cute.
So if there's any questions coming in,
Yeah,
it's kind of hard for me to read. Let me know what you're saying.
I'm looking now.
But hello, everybody. Ask us
no
questions.
questions.
Yes.
If you guys have questions, please ask. We will be more than happy to answer them for you.
Oh, here's a gorgeous eagle. Yes.
Yeah.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. So
Many more happy and healthy years ahead.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And what's a normal lifespan of a bald eagle?
in the wild, 25 is really old.
Okay.
Captivity, I think, what's the oldest been, Crystal?
It was in the
In
40s.
the 40s. Yeah.
But we had one that lived very, very close to 50 years old. So
I got you.
Pilgrim, yes.
Okay. So hopefully he'll be that 50-year-old mark. We're optimistic. So
Because he's kind of a main staple for AEF, right?
He is, yeah. So yeah, he's been doing a lot for the past 25, 30 years. And now with this transition, it's interesting now with the internet being the way it is, and kind of doing that kind of stuff is gonna be new territory for us, for him. But so far it's working out really amazing. Like with Twitch right here, guys. We're live streaming on Facebook Live, and then
It's
we're
a-
Twitch.
Streamception.
Yeah.
A stream within a
Stream
stream.
within a stream.
But I want to let everybody, the 60 or almost 70 people, know why we're here at HDOnTap. HDOnTap has been an amazing partner here with us at the American Eagle Foundation. We would not be able to do what we do without these guys. We were putting out a lot of resources to stream our bald eagle cams in the past for millions upon millions of people, and HD stepped in and said, hey, we'll take care of it and improve your guys' system. And now we've been able to allocate our resources in different areas, like redoing our barn for these guys to have better habitat, like putting money in to do American Eagle Day 2020, which is a nationwide cleanup initiative that we're hoping to have cleanups for bald eagle and other wildlife habitat in each state, and hopefully live stream that in each state as well. So you guys have allowed us to do a lot more with our mission and increased our quality, and just, I think, are you guys the first to stream 4K?
That I can't answer. Does anyone know
YouTube
the
doesn't
answer?
stream 4K right now, do they? I don't think they do. So, streaming 4K, that's awesome.
An incredible quality. And aren't we the first to have a bald eagle nest in 4K?
Belfast 10. We are? Okay.
We are.
Yeah.
Nice.
First bald eagle nest with 4K.
There
So
you have it.
Advertise
tune
it.
into HDOnTap. We
Yeah.
have about 5 cameras with you guys. We do have one that one that's in the wild right now that's up and running in northeastern Florida. So it's pretty exciting. I feel like there's been bald eagle sightings about every single day now for the
Yes.
past couple weeks. Samson and A2. A2 should be named soon, or
I think the consensus is among our team is that if she does lay eggs, we will then give her a name that is selected by our staff at AEF and our moderators and cam ops.
okay, cool. So how do they come up with the list of names?
They just kind of looked at her personality. She's a very loud girl, so I'm not going to give away what they might have chosen for her. So she's loud and she's big, and she just commands a presence. So they picked a name that best suited her, and also had some more emotional attachments to it. And also just they gave us a lot of meaning behind their choices of names. So
Cool.
that makes it easier for us to pick and choose which names we really like within our organization too. So
He's
Nice
playing
little
with
feather.
Downy feather.
you playing with
Super
feathers,
neat.
buddy?
I think you might have answered this question, but a viewer asked, is Challenger still retired?
Yes,
Or
Challenger.
is he really retired?
Challenger is really retired from flying in stadiums during the national anthem. That's what that's something that's just not possible anymore with, a lot of reasons. The big one is there are 3 sky cams now that are at every stadium almost. And that means there's 4 very tiny Kevlar cables per camera. So there's 12 cables up there, and you just can't get it out of the way anymore. So in the past, we could deal with 1 or 2. 2 made it difficult, but now 3. It's just not safe for him. And he's getting older. His eyesight's not the best. Just like us, our eyesight kind of deteriorates. So do these guys. So it's just, again, we want him to live past 50. So there's no point in taking those risks anymore. Bald eagle's not endangered, even though he still goes around letting people know they're not out of the woods yet. There's still a lot of issues that they're dealing with, whether that's poisoning from lead, rodenticides, wind turbine collisions, being shot. But stadiums just aren't the way to do it anymore. We're really hitting social media hard and seeing a lot of really good responses out of that. You know, Twitch is kind of our platform that we're choosing to do a lot of our stuff with. It does a few things. One, we can be so transparent. We can take this and show you guys the construction of our barn. We can show you challengers and closure, what we're doing, where people's donations go to, and it's been phenomenal for our community to show them that, and they can ask us like, hey, you know, how's this project coming that I donate to? And we'll go out there to the hack tower and live stream like, look, it's coming a long way. Thank you guys so much. And you know, just being able to then to educate people, you know, take Challenger to TwitchCon, get to that younger generation that's going to be the next stewards of our earth, and you know, that's really where the attention's at right now.
Yeah.
And can do a lot.
And his retirement was a lot about his health and well-being as well too. So we want to keep him healthy. We want to keep him safe. He's done so much for his species. So his longevity is very important to us.
It was good timing. You know how, you know, with the Sky Games, that was like a recent thing. Like this year became a thing with the Sky Games.
That could be really, really dangerous.
Yeah.
So.
And just everything fell into the right place, and it's seeming to work out very, very well for us.
And do you have other ambassadors too, other than Challenger, that kind of go out and around and kind of inform people on your foundation and what you're doing for the species?
We do. We have
George
the Vulture. He is an Instagram superstar. You can follow him at George_the_Vulture on Instagram. So he is one of our traveling birds as well. He's a 34-year-old turkey vulture, and he's raising knowledge and educating people on why vultures are worth protecting and what they contribute to the environment. Beyond that, we have we have 63 birds under our care. 17 of those are in the largest flighted eagle sanctuary in North America, Eagle Mountain Sanctuary over at Dollywood.
And we just added a new one in there too.
It's beautiful.
She's also a bit of a spokesperson for the species too, because she is probably one of the only known survivors of a wind turbine collision. So she is blind in one eye, but she is now living in our Pick-A-Mate section at Dollywood.
Which you can find on HDOnTap as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think I did a post about Wendy the other day,
Yep,
which is which is incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of scary thinking that bald eagles or any bird at that matter can, just fly right into the wind turbines, which we're trying to use as an alternative to
Go solar.
Yeah.
Yeah, solar is great. They also are making turbines without they're like vertical poles as opposed to rotating wings. So a lot of birds think that they're moving slower than they are, and then they get hit as a result. I've seen theories that even suggest that birds are drawn to the movement somehow and end up getting struck that way.
Yeah, we talked to American Bird Conservancy, which is really big and experts in that field of wind turbines and all that. And we like their policy. We're just like, wind turbines are just not efficient. It costs a lot of money. Return on investment takes a long time. Lots of tax write-offs and all that to really get that going. Solar is just the way to go because you or I can do it. Tim, HDOnTap, they rely on solar a ton for a lot of your remote installations, and it can be affordable too. And it's getting better and better every year, getting more cost effective as well. So that's you or I can do it. Businesses can do it. It doesn't have to be a huge corporate organization that does these things. So it's something more tangible that people can do to help save our environment.
Absolutely.
A viewer asked, how old can bald eagles live?
So in the wild, bald eagles can live to be 25. That's pushing it, and then 40 to 50 in captivity. You can generally double the wild age to get captive longevity because they have health care, they have little to no stress, they have a constant food source. That's a medical care.
Yes.
I feel like I'm missing one. Exercise.
Yes.
Just a nice life.
Yeah, a little more of a cushion life.
Yeah.
But if they're in captivity, they've obviously made it there for some possibly catastrophic reason.
Yeah.
So they did their, they paid their dues out in the wild and possibly got injured. And so just bringing them in and giving them the best is important. So
And of course, that's not to say that we advocate for keeping.
we don't.
Like the goal is
We don't
always to
want
release
them.
these birds back to their natural environment whenever possible. But of course, if they're not able to survive and thrive, we want to give them the most comfortable life under our care. As Challenger is kind of demonstrating, he's absolutely at ease right now.
Very
It's pretty
comfortable.
chill.
Yeah.
So I know, like Grant and Glenda from your Dollywood cams, Isaiah and Mrs. Jefferson.
Yep.
They lay eggs almost every season, and then if they hatch and they've grown to a healthy age, you guys bring them to the hacking tower where they can kind of try and acclimate to wildlife, and then hopefully have a successful life out in the wild.
Our breeding program is so fantastic because it allows these birds that would not be able to survive in the wild to still contribute to the repopulation of bald eagles. We have released 176 bald eagles into the foothills of the Great Smoky Mountains.
And have any of them not been able to acclimate, or have all of them been pretty good with?
We've
Staying on
we've
Two?
had
We've only retained 2 that have been released from the hack tower that didn't quite figure it out. So that's what's called a failure to thrive. And so we'll bring them back in and we'll exhaust every effort to see if we can get them back out. And if that doesn't happen, then we work with U.S. Fish and Wildlife to determine whether or not they're releasable. And if they're not, they'll stay with us as a forever home.
and we've actually been able to track some grand offspring, like grand chicks. I don't know what you want to use phrase, but
Yeah.
of some of the birds we've released. So we do have documentation that a few of them have gone on to find mates of their own and reproduce out in the wild and continue the cycle.
Which is the Smoky Mountain Nest, which you guys also stream. However, they decided last season that they were going to move their nest. We're not exactly sure why, because they came back at the very beginning and they were building, and then all of a sudden they just kind of disappeared from the area. And then all of a sudden we're getting like pictures and notifications that they're out on the golf course and they're spotted with their young. So they obviously went somewhere else and nested and produced 2 that we know of. So we're going to try and look for their nest this season and see if we can locate
Is
it.
that common for bald eagles to kind of switch from nest to nest? or-
They will build to nest within their territory. It's not all that common. I mean, well, I guess it would kind of be common, but like for Northeast Florida, that nest has been there for a long time. And now it looks like it has become a nest for another pair. Whether this pair will create another nest somewhere else is just an unknown. There's some theory behind moving nests. It's one stable nesting platform. It could be parasites. So like if flies and things are too much, they'll move their nest to another location. So, but Lady Independence is notorious for moving around a little bit. So she's a mover and a shaker.
There's some questions on here about what I'm doing here. I'm offering Challenger my hand as a tool. It's called feeking, and it's just him cleaning his beak off. It's a show of trust. I'm trusting him that he's not going to bite me, and then he's trusting me that I'm not invading his personal space. I'm offering a way for him to clean his beak off. So it's not like a show of affection or anything. It's a show of trust.
it's a natural behavior, and you guys watching the cams
Yep.
will see them do that all the time on tree branches and things like that.
Are there any other questions?
We love HDOnTap.
We do.
yes, we
we
do.
appreciate all that you've done for us too.
Is there a difference in bald eagle size between Alaska and Florida?
For
Yes.
sure. That's called Bergman's rule. So you guys can look that up. It's the further north you get, the animals are larger, so bigger body mass. Takes more. I can't exactly bring it out of the top of my head,
Takes
but
more energy.
takes more energy, more fuel.
The prey's larger up there.
The prey is larger, and then obviously less energy. The further south you go, it's warmer, so
Surface
not as
area.
much needed, not as much body mass needed.
So it's that surface area ratio.
Mm-hmm.
We learn about biology. So yeah, you want to go into like the sexual dimorphism of bald eagles, kind of showing the difference between male and female.
I have a picture I can show. I don't know if you guys follow us, but there was a pretty cool picture of one of our smallest and one of our largest glove-trained birds.
Hi, Taha.
You can see
Getting your close-up, buddy.
he's got this beautiful white
tail.
tail. Hi, Twitch.
So males are generally smaller than females. The females are about a third larger than the male. There's theory behind that, and it goes back and forth. But some people think it's because I guess when I first started watching cams back in 2008, they said that a female was not the ruler of the roost, that it was the male. With the cameras, we have found that's not true. The female typically is the one who runs the show.
So is this a female versus a male?
This is a northern female and a southern male.
The Challenger's 6 to 7 pounds, and then our largest female, she's approaching
So
11.
they saw this live.
12 pounds, and so you have a 6-foot wingspan. She probably has like 7-8 foot wingspan.
Yeah.
So there's a large difference in those guys. And Tiffany, was there a question?
Was Lady Independence originally from Alaska?
I think her lineage may go back to Alaska. Yes, exactly. It does, because Frank and Indy are both wild birds that were both shot in their left wing in Alaska on separate occasions. They came to us. They went into our pick a mate section and chose each other as mates. She is an offspring from 2008. So she was released out into the wild. She flew around for about 3 years, came back with a mate, Sir Hatcher, the original Sir Hatcher. And then last season, he was around and then kind of disappeared. And then she took on a new mate that is also banded. So when we got the numbers off the band, he is actually a release from our hack tower as well. Although he was not hatched at our facility, he was hatched out in the wild and just needed a little more time to get acclimated. And that's something that we also do. We do translocated eaglets. So if one falls from a nest or something like that and they can't get it back up, they bring them to us and we will put them up in the hack tower just to give them a chance to get out into the wild. So he's a product of that, but he did come from Tennessee.
Wow.
So do bald eagles migrate? Like, do you find that some eagles from like Alaska will show up on the East Coast? Or?
Semi-migration, I think. Some of them choose to go, some of them don't. Like in our DC pair, the male kind of hangs around the entire year. The female will migrate. So that's something that I think that she's always done. So I think that's probably something that's just ingrained in them. So like if you always have migrated, you're always going to do it. But if you've always stuck around in this particular area, you'll kind of just stay there year round. Food source is a big thing too. Food source and weather conditions will keep them or drive them to go looking for food.
Your head is so white.
It is.
Yeah.
It's blending into the wall behind it.
Yeah.
Just
Are there
gotta
any
be
other
a-
questions? Or let's see. Someone was asking how heavy Challenger is.
About 6 pounds, 6 to 7 pounds, like a gallon of milk.
Yeah, so if you go home and hold a gallon of milk like this, you can experience somewhat what Connor is.
Yeah.
Do it for a long time.
He's getting
Your
heavy.
arm gets tired.
He's sitting as far out onto my glove as he possibly can, so it makes it a little bit further away. It makes me work out a little bit more, but it's all right.
We can always kind of rest him or tuck in the elbow to distribute the weight.
Yeah, having this chair helps a lot.
Yes.
Let's see. Our bald eagles, someone was asking if we've begun to see a decrease in lead poisoning. Was that a common?
A decrease in lead poisoning? I don't know. It's hit or
It's
miss.
still pretty prevalent in the rehab community. There's a lot of places that bring in bald eagles that, and it's there's an uptick around hunting time.
So they're getting the lead from water sources?
We're getting it from a variety of sources,
Okay.
actually. Some hunters, when they go out, they will gut their animal in the woods and leave those gut piles there. And if they're using lead ammunition, it fragments
Okay.
very, very much. So